Hey, witches.
Hi, hello, and good morning. Welcome back to
Well,
another
it's
episode.
not morning for them, probably.
Oh,
I mean, it might be. I don't know what time they listen to it.
okay, good morning to those who listen to us in the morning. Good morning to not those, because it's a morning for me. So, you know what? I'm tired. I went to bed at 3 o'clock last night because I couldn't get off my fucking computer.
Well, you know, I went to bed at a relatively decent hour last night. I'm still tired, though, because weekends are when I recuperate all the sleep that I don't get during the week.
You're also more of an introvert, so I feel like that's also the time that you just like cocoon and,
Accurate.
and
If there's
prepare
a
for like.
weekend that we have like stuff going on all weekend, the week after that is always like I'm so
The
tired all
worst.
week and just miserable
Mm-hmm.
because, and like Friday, and let me preface this by saying I love the people I work with, at least the people I was working with on Friday. Like, it was a great
Nobody else.
day. Well, there's a couple people that I work with that I don't love, but the people that I was working with on Friday, I absolutely adore, and like we had a great day. It was a good time. We had good conversation, but it was an all day meeting. Like even lunch, we were talking about stuff over lunch, and so like there was no
Break.
like break except for a couple minutes when I went to the bathroom. So um, I came home Friday night and was like blah, and then Brittany's mom was spending the night because it's her birthday, which that doesn't really count as socializing because she lived with us for a while, so I don't. She doesn't make me as tired. Um, but like I was over it.
You know, it's really funny when you're talking about like work lunches because I immediately thought back to when we worked at the school. The very first time I ever fucking met you was I didn't even meet you. I'm like this tiny, like this little scared, like new employee sitting in a room full of fucking like veteran teachers. And I'm sitting there like, I'm just going to read these behavior things or these IEPs because I don't know anybody. I'm afraid to talk to anybody. I'm just going to eat my sandwich. All of a sudden, I just hear, ew, why would they put this on a sandwich? I don't like this. Does anyone want this? Anyone? No? Okay. And I turn around and it's just fucking Brandy just like picking shit off her fucking sandwich. Mad because a pre-made Jimmy John sandwich or whatever it was had fucking like pickles or something on it. I don't know. And I was like, God, she's alive.
Yeah, I am. That's fair assessment.
I was like,
Oh man.
okay, I'm just gonna go back to my IEPs that day up. I was like, I'll take those pickles or whatever the fuck it was, but I was like, I ain't gonna say that out loud though.
Oh my god.
I was like, next step.
That's
then I
hilarious.
then I went to her classroom and I was like, oh, this is why. I got it. Okay, that makes sense. It was so funny because like every other teacher I had gone into, it was like soothing music, quiet. Some classrooms were like quiet lighting. It sounds weird to say quiet lighting, but there's loud lighting and then there's quiet lighting. And of course, the one I was like, Emily, this is your main classroom. And I was like, all right, cool. Well, this is loud in here. This is very loud lighting. I don't like it. And then all of a sudden, I like go down to this room where it's just like, yeah, I don't care what you do. Like, here you go. Here's a seat. Hey, don't touch yourself. Okay. Yes, you can go take a nap in there. That's fine. You did your work today. And I'm like, yeah, I like it down here. I'm just trying to
Mm,
figure my life out. It was great.
yes, I was too.
All because of a fucking Jimmy John sandwich, though. Tell ya. It was great
And
times.
look how far we've come.
We both hate that school.
Yeah, accurate. People keep sending me job postings because they keep posting new positions, and I'm like, hell to the no, absolutely fucking not.
Right? And it's like, okay, maybe if like one person wasn't there, but that one person is still there.
Yeah, yeah,
I feel like everybody was fine. And everybody in that school, or at least in that department, would be okay if it wasn't for that one person.
yeah. I would agree with that.
But side note, speaking of previous people we used to work with, okay. Do you remember me talking about somebody who just really fucking annoyed me and then just like used mental health for every single excuse? And it's like, yes, I get it. There is a time and a place to blame mental health on things, but being 3 hours late to work or being scatterbrained or working in retail at Christmas time and having a panic attack because of how busy it is, you can't blame your mental health on that because it's retail at Christmas time. Just don't work in retail. If you have really bad anxiety, that's just, if you can't control it, that it's just not a good place for you. Well, that person ended up transferring to like a new store and then getting promoted, like straight from just plain associate to a department lead. He got fired because he reached out to somebody, like one of the people that I like looked over, like one of my associate leads, and he was like, oh, news travels fast, blah, 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 like talking about it. And I was like, oh man, that's not a good idea. That is going to be a terrible idea, actually. Well, I was at work last night and he came in and he ordered something under a different name, and he thought he thinks he's best friends with like the person who was cashier last night. And that cashier absolutely fucking hates him because like she tried to help him a couple of times and then he just threw her under the bus and made it seem like it was all her fault. And so that she got in trouble when truly it was like him. So then it like took a lot of like backpedaling to get back to like where everybody was. And so he was like dishing all this like drama to her, and basically he was telling her how she got fired or how he got fired because he came in under the influence and he was acting a fool. And I was
What
like,
an idiot.
okay, well, you almost got fired when you were a regular associate because you came in drunker than a fucking skunk. Like you had almost an entire fucking handle to yourself. You admitted it to your bosses. And you were like, don't fire me.
Oh my god.
And you thought being a department lead and doing the exact same thing at a different store was going to get you fired? Like, our store is one of the most lenient stores ever. Anyways, okay. That was my
Oy.
spiel.
Well, yes. Those are our spiels. Now we got 4 chapters to get through, girl. We already separated this into 2 episodes. No,
Drama on drama
so
on drama.
right, we ended chapter 38 with Mira punching Brennan in the face because she found out that he was alive after all this time. Which is the only appropriate reaction to that scenario.
Oh, he
Um,
totally deserved it. Absolutely
Absolutely.
deserved it.
Yes, absolutely. And she doesn't like give in. Like she doesn't be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." No. She's like, "You fucking deserved it." Um
It's his reaction's just like, what the fuck? And it's like, bro, it's been 6 years. You've been dead, and you just open your arms to me like in the flesh. It's so
Hi.
good to see you. It's not like you moved away.
Boom.
We just haven't been able to see you. Like
We
we
thought you were dead.
burned
We burned
your
your shit.
shit. We thought
Mm-mm.
we'd never see you again until we all died, and here you are under a different fucking
Just
name.
chilling. Like, what? Oh no. No, no. Mm-mm.
And she is so savage. She goes, "At least playing dead earned you a rank."
Yeah. Yes. Yes. And this is exactly how I'd run it. I'd been fucking pissed. You fucking deserve it, bitch. You deserve
Yeah,
to get your nose broken. Because Violet's like, I heard a distinct crunch. And? Fucking and? Like,
do it yourself.
I thought he was dead. So, like, he's lucky that's all he got. Because, mm,
Yeah,
mm-mm.
do it. Set it yourself, Brennan. You a mender. Do it.
So, and then, yeah, and he's like, it takes forever to win myself. But,
Boo fucking who?
I'm fucking
Consequences.
wheezing on page 363. Because they go through their whole, like, fight thing. But on page 363, um,
Oh.
Xaden shows up and they're like being Xaden and Violet are being Xaden and Violet. And Brennan's like, seriously? Right in front of me? And Mira goes, oh, this is tame for them. Wait until they decide to basically climb each other in public. You can't burn that shit out of your head. Trust me. I was fucking wheezing. Fucking
Like,
wheezing.
it's great because on that same page, like they're like at each other's throats because Brennan and Mira are like about to choke each other, and Violet, being the youngest of them both, like jump in the middle and just loses her fucking mind. She screams at him, "Oh, for fuck's sake, stop it. Mira, he was a brand new lieutenant, and what's done is done. Brennan, put the fucking ice on your face before you stain the floors, you stubborn ass." And then Zane's just like, yeah, and I wanted siblings.
Yeah, well, and then on page 364, after they're done kissing, Xaden goes, so what are the Sorengale siblings going to do now that you're all reunited? And Mira goes, we're going to we're going to beat the shit out of our brother.
And it's great because like they go from about to kill each other to both like, ew, that's disgusting. Oh, that's fine. Ew, what? Yeah. I still
And this
fucking
is
hate
nothing.
you. But like they hate each other. They're like, and that's something that I wish I had. Like, yes, I at times I'm Zayden where like, man, I wish I had siblings. And the other times I'm like, I'm great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. So,
mm-mm,
yeah, Brittany has a
but like
huge
that moment.
family. So, like, I'm slowly gaining, or I'm not slowly, I very quickly gained a bunch of siblings. And there are times when I'm like, it makes me sad that I don't have this. But then there are
Yeah.
other times when I'm like, thank God I don't have this.
Yeah.
Because I want to throttle them sometimes. But you
Will's
still
got a
love them when it's difficult.
yeah. Will's got a big family. He's got 3 older siblings, 2 younger siblings. 3 older siblings from his mom's prior marriage, 2 younger siblings from his dad's new marriage. But he's not close to with any of them. So,
Yeah. And then Brittany's whole family is really close too. So it's like,
yeah, no.
it was a big culture shock.
I've
but
always wanted to have like that close family and I always like faked it or at least I thought I had it. And then True Colors came out and I was like, "Oh,
yeah, you fucking
okay."
suck. All right.
Yeah. um I don't
But
have
then on
anything
that,
till 368.
oh, I was just going to mention still on that same
Well, it's
page,
all you.
Violet's like, I know how to raise the wards. And I was like, are you sure, Violet? Because I don't think you do. Like, well, there's too much book left for you to know how to raise the wards. So,
I I understand. Okay, and this is a Ravenclaw flaw, and I know you don't like to think that Ravenclaws have flaws. The look on your face is like, "Excuse me."
I'm just
But
waiting.
here's the thing. I feel like you guys, even if you guys don't exactly know how. Like you have that hunch. Like you are so confident in like your ability to do it. You're just like, yeah, I got this. Like, yeah, I know I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I get this. And everyone else is like, how sure are you? I've never done it before, but I know I can do it. And then it's like, hold up, hold up. So you've never done this, but you are confident it's gonna work. Like that was me the entire time, and I'm sitting here like, why is this fucking Brandy? Like,
I mean, that's valid.
like
That's valid.
that is Ravenclaw flaw. You guys are so confident in your book ability, in your like brains and all of that, that you're just like, no, I got this. And it's like, where's the concrete evidence?
I mean, that's valid. And the whole time I'm reading this, she's like something about the six and the one. And so she's like, we need the six strongest writers, and then she assumes the one is the Wardstone. I don't think that's the one. I think something else is the one.
I think it might be the one. I don't think she's got the six strongest writers.
Oh, that might be the case. I don't know. I thought
We
maybe
don't
the
know.
one needed to be
We,
like a dragon, or
mm,
maybe it was a
we
griffin
don't.
rider. Like, I don't know, or a flyer.
Well, and that's the thing. It's we don't know enough about the people on the assembly in Arisha to assume that they are like the six whatever. Like what if it's the people, what if it's like the iron not the
The
iron,
Iron
but the
Squad.
yeah, the Iron Squad. What if it's Riddick and Sawyer and Imogen and like all of them? Like what if it's them?
Yeah, I don't know.
I honestly was yeah, Bodhi was there. I was gonna say Bodhi better fucking be there because I think Bodhi is one of them. I think Garrick is one of them.
Yeah,
The fact that him and Xaden were like, yeah, let's go get some wyvern, and they just fucking took down carcasses of wyvern across the entire like coast of Navarre. The assembly didn't fucking do that.
right, right. No, I
Now,
agree.
I think the assembly is very I think they could create a very very strong school, like powerful writers. I think they could create powerful writers. I do believe that because they do become like the professors, and some of the courses and the lessons that they're teaching these people, it's like, damn, like this guy never did that. But it makes more sense to do it this way because
Yeah,
why wouldn't we do it that way? Like what was the thought process behind it? So I'm just sitting here like, I don't think they got it right. Excuse me. But I
mm,
think Mira is powerful too. I think Mira is a powerful writer.
yeah.
And I think Mira has something to do with it. Because on page 368, unless you got something in between then.
Mm-mm.
So they're all arguing over whether or not this could work, whether like this can't work. So they go to this area. They're like climbing, climbing, climbing. And Zayden's like, oh yeah, she knows how to do it. Yeah, like blah, blah, blah. Like she got this. Yeah, she knows how to do it. And everyone's like, okay. So when they get there, she is, kind of telling everybody what needs to be done, what needs to happen. And they slice open their palm. And once blood starts coming down, free falling, they put it to the stone, or like the monolith kind of thing. And they're hoping to like raise the wards that way. Now, there's not a lot of idea on how to raise the wards. She just thinks, oh, this is what they did. And then the wards were raised. I mean, yeah, that could be a possibility, but also there might be something
It's
else
too
hidden.
easy.
Yeah. But here's the thing. They start talking about Mira. Mira's signet is to kind of like be a shield, be like the ward itself in a way, as long as she's near the ward, unless she's under like distress, like very big emotional distress. But they're saying that she can't do it because she's so far away from the ward, so her signet doesn't matter. I don't believe that. I think that there's something more to it. Now, obviously, she probably could do it if she's under a lot of emotional distress. Not that I would recommend doing that, but I think she is part of the key to it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I feel like she not necessarily needs to be there, but like, what if she needs to also be one of those people to kind of like use her power to create the
Yeah.
assembly and all of that? I don't know. I think there's something more to that theory. I think she's on the right track. I just don't think she's unlocked a few of the clues or like
Yeah.
grabbed
Well,
the last remaining puzzle pieces.
especially because there was another part of the, I don't know where the whole thing is, but there was another part where it said something about in the iron rain.
Mm-hmm.
And they she just kind of ignores that part. I think because she's thinking that's the blood, but putting your palm on there, it's not raining. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't that that um
And I
and
don't
then,
think it
it doesn't
either.
work. So she spirals and she's like, I failed Bodhi, I failed Xaden, I failed Liam, I failed Mira, I failed Rhea, I failed these people. And she just lists all these fucking people she's failed. So her solution to that is to do something reckless. She's like, I'm going to go to Takaris and get that luminary without Xaden's permission.
Yeah. Here's the thing. She's okay. If you watch the YouTube, you'll see the look that Brandy's given. And here's the problem. I do the exact same bullshit. Like I spiral and then I do something fucking stupid. That's my anxiety. This poor girl
Yeah.
is having a fucking panic attack. She's
But
on
she
a
does
time
talk
crunch.
Taryn into it.
I don't think she's got any not not that she has to talk Taryn into it. I think she's just
Yeah.
like Taryn's just like, yeah, I don't think this is gonna go well. But if I don't do this, she's gonna do it without me. And if she does it without me,
Right.
she could die. And I'm the most
Well,
powerful
and the
dragon of them all.
stupidest thing about this is one of those things where I think Xaden does get a little Reese energy, or maybe more
Oh,
Tamlin energy, where he's like, no, we're
oh
not
no.
doing it. It's not an option. Where if he
Yeah.
had talked to her and explained things to her and they talked through it and came up with a plan, this could have gone so much easier. But
Because
Xaden
he didn't want to communicate with that with her. She is essentially
lost his
left to
mind.
yeah, like she is essentially left to spiral by herself. Not that's a far reach. Yes, I understand. However, if she knew that, she probably wouldn't have spiraled to the extent that she did, to where she would have been like, I'm going to see Takaris and I'm going to get that luminary by myself. Like, I'm going to go to Corden and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yep.
But because, and his stupid bullshit of, well, you're not asking the right, like, you're not asking questions. She doesn't know what kind of questions to ask.
Right.
Like there's a
She doesn't
few
know what
off
to
limit
ask.
questions. Yeah. And it's like, if I ask this question, is that going to cut us off in the future? Like, is that going to piss you off to the point where like I lose you forever? Like, you guys have a
Yeah,
very
he's
weird, fragile relationship.
yes.
Like,
Really,
it's
bro?
called communication, bitch. It probably
Yeah.
wouldn't
And
be
then
so
so
fragile if you guys would fucking talk.
naturally Violet does have some of that Ravenclaw energy though, and she well like the good kind, and she knows which sibling she needs to go to for help.
Oh, yeah. She's like
She
walking
enlists Mira.
away and yeah, she's walking away and Brennan's like, I know that look. Like you did this when you were a child and blah blah blah. Like parents were left sleeping at the table because you refused to eat this. And she goes, okay, like what's your fucking point?
Yeah,
If
hello.
you're gonna come with, then come with.
Yeah. I,
And she
what
just
is
goes
happening?
straight to Mira and was like, I need help. And Mira's like, all right, what do you need? Fuck you, Brennan.
Yeah.
She doesn't ask
Absolutely.
questions. She just says, what do you need?
Oh my gosh. And that's the end of 39.
Yeah. And
So
I will admit, at least she attempted to talk to Xaden, again, before following
she
through with it.
did.
She's like, maybe.
She was like, "Take me to Sakaris," and he said, "I'd rather die." Okay, then I'll take myself.
I mean, like, I can understand, but also, if I was her and in this desperation, I would probably go too. I would also probably not go if I knew the whole fucking story. Thank you.
Right. Like that's what I'm saying. If he would have just communicated with her and told her why, then this
I
might not have
sure as hell would have
happened.
been like, yeah, you right though. I don't want to go. you
Listen,
you you
I
good.
wouldn't have made it across the fucking parapet. Like so the
It's
story would have ended a long ass time ago.
Here's the thing, when I first read the whole parapet thing, I'm thinking like the circus. Like I grew up when I'm saying like somebody's like walking across something and you are high up. I'm sitting here thinking like, damn, like how are they walking across a thin fucking line? Like I don't know how anyone would do that. Like there's people who train for like 4 or 5 hours every day that still do that in at the circus in my hometown. And I'm sitting there like da 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 like it's it's like 4 feet across. And I
Yeah.
was like, oh, okay, I can do that. But like,
No. I would have got
I
pushed
think it's like a
off.
fucking tightrope.
No, I would have got pushed off because I would have froze with fear and I would have
I've
got
been
pushed
like, all
off.
right, I can either fall to my death because Jack Barlow behind me is trying to fucking push me, or I can just
Yeah.
let me shimmy across.
Oh my gosh. Um
Which, oh no, that's a thought for later. Sorry, go ahead.
okay. So the beginning of chapter 40, it's Felix is the guy's name.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
Is
like him.
teaching. Yeah, I do too. He's working with Violet on her signet and like how to.
He's so much better than Carr. Oh, he's so much better.
Yes. Well, and like I don't know why I never realized it. I should have realized it, but like Carr never taught her to aim. Like that seems
I
like a
know.
serious flaw, and I almost wonder
Quantity over
if that wasn't
quality,
on purpose. Like he didn't want her to know how to control it because he didn't want her to be able to use it against them. I feel
probably. Especially with Xaden on her side. Not necessarily her side, but
right.
like attached.
Yeah,
But and
I
here's the thing
do.
too. I never thought about a conduit.
Yeah,
Conduit. I don't know why I added the jewit, but conduit. I'm sitting here like everybody's using their powers from their hands, and this bitch is just like clouds. Bring me thunder, bring me lightning. And I'm sitting here like, damn, like that's big ass things. Like that's a lot. And then he's like, what the fuck was that? He just stares at her as she's like, what do you mean? That's damn good. Like, I did that really fast. And he goes, no, that was fucking shit. Do it
right.
again.
Like what were you trying to hit? Like
And she's like, I didn't have to do that. This is what I did. So what the fuck did you do? Nothing.
yeah, like ugh.
It's, I don't know. He's no nonsense and she fucking needs it, especially when it comes to training her signet. I mean,
Yeah,
she needs that in general, but like when it comes to
yeah.
this, because that's all she ever says is, I can't aim. I can't do that. Bitch, you don't fucking practice.
Right. You weren't taught. He says that. He was like, you were never taught. Your lack of aim and of control is not your fault. It's cars.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's kind of having a pity party and like, I don't suck. And he's like, yeah, you do, but it's not your fault. Like
I
but
get
that's
it.
kind of
However,
legit though, because if you have a shitty teacher, like it is hard to learn. It's not impossible, but it's harder.
yeah.
So
And if you don't have
I
the right
like Felix.
tools to learn how to do that, then it's like basically impossible to get to where you need to be to succeed. Thanks, college. Because you were part of my problem. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Felix is
so
great,
page
though.
he is. Page 375. We're done with
Oh,
training.
hold
Yeah.
up. I got something on 374. He
Okay.
says something that's so fucking powerful, though, that, like, it works. Like, um, what is it? Where is it? Fuck, where is it? Oh, nope, that's not it. Fuck. 374, he says something that's very powerful for anybody who's like struggling with anything. Um, and I think it's what you want to be doesn't change what you are without work. You never learned how to start small like the rest of your squad and then move to the bigger, harder strikes. So it's mainly the what you want to be doesn't change what you are. So it's a lot of people with anxiety strive to be something better, but like their brain can't like connect like I'm like thinking of two electricity parts. It's like
Yeah.
they're here, they want to be here, and they can't connect that section. And that's essentially what he's saying. He's like, you can't do this until you get here without that work. And it's like people with
Yep.
anxiety will sit there and be like, well, why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? And it's not that they're like stupid. It's not like, well, why don't you just do it? It's not that. It's our brains literally stop us from getting to here. And it's just like you just have to work on it. And like you're seeing the bigger picture and you just have to break it down. And that's kind of how he tells her too. He's like, you literally went to here, but now you got to do it in shorter or smaller things. And we're going to start off with this small little medallion thing or whatever, which is going to help control all, not all, but majority of her power. So she just doesn't accidentally burn something or accidentally,
Kill someone.
strike somebody. Yeah. And it's just like, that is so, like, not a demeaning way to tell somebody that, like,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you suck, but like you're gonna get there. You just have this is how you're gonna do it without like
Well, because I
sounding
feel
like
like
they're
that's huge too.
stupid.
Like, think about, and I hate math, but think about math. Like, if you don't learn the basics, because so being a special education teacher at the middle school and high school level really like drove this in. So they wanted me to teach them algebra. Okay, they can't recognize their numbers or count to those numbers. So if we can't do this, then we can't do that. Like, you have to master the small stuff first. And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
that was, yeah, a
Missed all
good
the time.
parallel.
Yeah, and it's when you have anxiety, you don't see the small stuff. You just see what you need to do,
And what
and
you're
the
not
world.
doing. Like,
Yeah, and the world is made like that. So that's why there's a lot more people with anxiety, and there's like a lot of people who not necessarily have meltdowns, but have those moment of breakdowns because they are just the world is not made for people like that. Anyways,
no.
go ahead with your 375, but 374, I love that quote. It is very powerful and it made me feel like you're right, Felix.
Oh my goodness. Um, so just on 375, they're going to Takaris. And Mira's like, Xaden's gonna be pissed. And I had like a super foreboding feeling reading this. I was like, something super insane is gonna happen. Like something bad is gonna happen. And it kind of does, but it's not like end of the world bad. Um, but
I like it too because who was it? It's Taryn. Taryn's like kind of getting quiet, but not saying any like he's quiet but not quiet. And it makes you think like, fuck. Is there going to be a wyvern attack? Like, what's happening? Like,
Right, right.
what's going on?
At the bottom of 376, though, Taryn is fucking funny. So he's like, Violet's like, "You're sure you can find the way?" He's like, "I'm gonna pretend you didn't ask that." And she said, "And Gale, she's out of range, but her emotions are calm." And this is an important thing he or promise that he makes her. She says, "And you promise not to tell her until we're back." And he says she's already gone, but he doesn't say, and he does promise not to tell her, kind of, but
He
that doesn't
doesn't.
mean, well, he doesn't, but like, also, even if he did, that doesn't mean that she won't find out. Like, Violet's not
But
specific
he
enough with her
didn't
promise.
promise her.
He didn't, but even if he had, she's not specific enough with her words, because he never tells Gale, because he says it later. He didn't tell her, but she sensed it.
But he
Like,
also
she
didn't
sensed
promise.
where he didn't promise. No, he didn't. But the
I
part
thought
that
he
was
did.
funny, he didn't. He
Oh,
never does. He just says, she's already gone. And then he says, "And the hungry one has been seething since this afternoon when she found out she wasn't coming." And
can you
I
just
was cracking up. The
can you just
hungry one.
imagine like Andarna just stomping around like an angry
Like,
fucking bird? Like,
yes, a parrot.
yeah,
Just cranky as fuck. Oh my god.
just looking for the next sheep.
Yes.
I'm hungry. Mm. And then eats a sheep and then just like walks away and then like continues bitching about how she couldn't come with. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Oh my gosh. And then they get there and they're like flying in, and Corden is giving summer court.
I was thinking, listening, I was like, damn, we're at the summer court? Where
Yeah,
are we?
right? Like the white
It's
marble and the,
it's giving like very what is it? Like Greek, like
yeah,
Santorini vibes,
yes,
like white
absolutely.
marble, white sandstone kind of look, very bluish clear, everything like that
Open.
concept, everything. It's like that Spanish ocean countryside place. So like very summer court, very everything. And the griffins come. The griffins are coming to like welcome them in basically
Yeah.
and to make sure they're not doing anything bad. But here's listen, whenever I think of griffins, I know they're half lion, half bird. I just imagine them squawking like fucking chickens.
Well, that's
And it's like, how you feeling over there?
that's hilarious. I
Yeah, you good? Okay.
I struggle because, like, I know, so when I think about it, I know that they're like half bird, half lion. I know that. But in my head, they're buckbeak. They're hippogriffs.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
So,
hippogriffs.
like, I know that's not what they are, but like it is in my head. So, like, they're
But
not in
that
my head,
doesn't
they're
mean
not.
they don't sound like chickens to me.
You know, that's fair.
Like,
But
I
like
know exactly.
they're not intimidating in my head. Like Buckbeak is just a horse with a bird head. He's not intimidating in my
Yeah.
head. But like if he had a lion body, he'd be a lot more intimidating. So like I just have to like remind myself sometimes. Which in the next episode we'll talk more about that. But um yeah. So what I put
And
facepalm Mira. So what was I talking about?
on 379 though, I love when authors put in like little jabs. Now here's the thing. Whether that jab was intentional or not is completely and utterly, up to the author whether or not they would like to disclose this, but I like to assume that it's, whatever. On 379, they're like talking, and this is probably going to lead up to the Mira thing. They're like talking about everything. And Brennan is actually talking to them in their own language. and they start talking to him in Navarian, and he's like, "And you speak Navarian," Brennan notes. And then the flyer goes, "Of course, not every kingdom thinks theirs is the only language that should be spoken." And I was like,
America, America.
yes. I was
Yeah,
like,
I know.
is that a subtle jab at America? I would like to think so.
There are multiple of those in this book. I feel like she's real good at being like,
I know. Well, she's a military brat. She grew up in the military world. Like, she probably
yeah,
had, I mean, she has like that civilian side. She also has that military side. So she's probably seen both of
yeah.
these, whatever. And I'm just like, I'm here for it. Um,
But yes, you're right.
but
That does lead into
I
um,
figured.
continuing that conversation down. They're like, there's one of the Griffin writers is his do they call it a signet from the
It's
Griffin?
not a
Anyway,
signet, but they're like power.
yeah, it's that he um, basically can tell when people is lying. Oh, gift. They call it a gift. She's like, okay. So he says, seeing as you've arrived without invitation, we require you to have honest intentions before traveling farther. Um, and Violet's like, I'm here to wield lightning in return for asking your Viscount for help. Um, Brennan goes, I'm here to broker a deal for your luminary in return for weaponry. And then the flyer looks at Mira and she goes, fine, make one wrong move toward my sister and I'll gut you like a fish. And that goes for everyone in this city. How's that for honest? And I'm just like, Mira!
Well, and that's exactly what what she does. She just like looks at Mira like, what the fuck? And Brennan goes, damn it, Mira. and, and the flyer goes, I can respect that.
And then the trio of Griffin flyers
They
parts.
separate like the fucking Red Sea, and out comes a dark black clad figure. You aren't where I
Yep.
left you, Violence. Xaden.
Well, and at first I was like, oh, like, is that where they went? And that's why Taryn wouldn't promise because he didn't have to tell Sigale because they were going to the same place. But
That's what I thought too. I was like, why did he go there? Like the
yeah, that
jealous
doesn't end up
girlfriend.
being the
I'm not
case.
even a jealous. I'm like, I'm not even a fucking girlfriend of his. And I was like, why did he go there? Excuse me. Did you tell her that you were going there and not take her? Like, I'm like becoming that like jealous, questioning girlfriend. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then, so that's the end of chapter 40. And then chapter 41, I'm just cracking up because they're like, she's like, where you left me? Like I'm some kind of pet. You should stay curled up on your bed just because you said so. And like they're bickering back and forth, Violet, Brennan, and Xaden, as they're walking. Yeah, as they're walking towards the palace or whatever. And Mira's like, they really grow grass ornamentally? Mira, like, she's just like,
they're fucking chickens. They gotta eat.
right? Like she's just cracking me up. And then Zane goes, you should see the butterfly garden. And I'm just like,
excuse me?
and then she goes, wait, why aren't we being escorted by flyers? How the hell does Zone know this? Xaden knows this place has a butterfly garden. And she's
Odin,
like,
you've been there?
I know. No, last night I was reading and I kept yelling at Odin. And at one point I called him Xaden. I was like, Xaden! And I was like, wait, hold up. Skirt!
He's like,
oh my gosh.
What the fuck are you talking to, woman?
Yeah.
My name's Bodie Odie.
Yeah. I can't with him. But then on this page is where we find out Xaden says we landed a few hours ago. We changed direction as soon as Sigale felt Taryn on the move. And then she goes, you and I are going to have a discussion. You promised. And he said, I promised not to tell. Not that she couldn't sense me. But he never actually promised.
I know. I was like, hold up. Someone needs to fix this because this is going to bug me.
Yeah.
And, when he said you will not be happy with the landing we're about to receive, I was like,
yeah. Like
What
what?
landing
Like
is that? For some reason I didn't expect Xaden. I was
yeah,
thinking
I didn't
like
either.
I was thinking
I
like
thought
they
it
were
was
gonna
gonna be
be
like a
held.
Venom or like
Yeah, like I was gonna be like I was thinking like they were gonna be like held prisoner or like they were gonna be captured, something.
well then I also like was like, oh my gosh, is the Viscount her dad? Like I like my head went all kinds of places.
That was that's quite the reach, but oh that'd be terrifying. Oh my god, that'd be so terrifying because of like who is related to the Viscount here's like that we find out here soon. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Oh,
Literally the next page.
I love that drama.
Yeah.
Um listen,
Page
382. We're on basically on the same page.
yeah.
Okay. Violet and her lack of context clues really, really, really,
Oh my god.
really fucking frustrate me. Really
Yes.
frustrate me. And this might just be because like maybe she's never been hurt by anybody and this is like her first legitimate like relationship. So like maybe this is just naivety. I'll give it to her. However, it's really frustrating me as somebody who has been through this bullshit before. But he
Yeah.
is talking about all of this thing, every whatever, and how he knows where everything is. She already knows that his ex is a flyer. She already knows that his ex knows about something with the Viscount. She has been nonstop worried about the Viscount, nonstop worried about like her inferiority, and then the flyers. So like, I don't know, and maybe this is just how my brain works because like I connect everything, but I'm just sitting here like, bro, you're sitting here
Mhm.
like questioning everything, and I'm like, his ex is clearly a fucking flyer. She's gonna be there,
Mhm. I know.
and then, on the next page, he just like he's like, you know the rules, like because they meet the Viscount and they're like, you know the rules, you must dress up for dinner or whatever, like you do this or you do that. Like Takaris is very particular about everything. um and then she's like, you know the rules, exactly how many times have you been here? And he's like, I don't exactly keep count, and all these things, and all of a sudden Takara says, my niece will see you're properly attired, won't you, cat? And I'm like, I fucking knew they were related.
Yeah.
I knew
Yep.
it.
Yep.
So Catriona and Serena are related to Takaris, who will take over leadership of Corden, who is of
Yeah.
course the person they need to convince to give them the luminary. So this is going to be fun. Great
Yep.
times.
Side note, he reminds me of the collector
Oh, wait.
from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Went okay. For some
Um,
reason my brain went to the scary movie The Collector and I was like,
no, no,
I
no,
knew
from
him.
Guardians of the
That's
Galaxy.
I was
Galaxy.
like, no. Yes, I
The
agree.
next thing I have is page 385. Um, and I wrote
Same.
shots fired because
Oh,
Violet and Xaden are like
yes.
arguing back and forth, and
In front of everybody and Kat specifically.
well, most of it's like in their head. I feel like not all of it, but most of it. Um,
I mean,
but
he tries to keep it in their head. But she
yeah,
just was like, nope.
she's like, "Fuck this." So the last part of their argument, is she's like, if you had been remotely reasonable, we could have had it months ago. And he said, reasonable? For looking for another way before serving you up to Takaris? Let's get one thing straight. If I ever see a way to keep you safe, I'll take it. And she goes, do you know who you sound like right now? And he goes, please enlighten me. She goes, Dane, and slams the door in his face. And I was like, oh, shots fired. Bang, 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 bang. Shit.
Yeah, because like she's given him like she's oh yeah, she's letting him have it. And you know what? That'll shut him up because and that's going to make him think long and hard about all of his decisions and every single thing that he has acted. Because they as they're walking, Kat shows him to his room, like the room that was his for some
In the
reason that no one
past.
knows as of right now. Um And she's like, okay, well, we've kept it just the way you had it. And she's like, yeah, you had a room here? That would have been lovely to know. And
Right. Like,
he's like, well, why don't you come get dressed in my room? And she goes, your room? I think I'd like a little space. And he, like, as they like walk away, he like leans out and he goes, Violet, I'm just in the room over so like I can hear your scream. And she's like, good to know. Thanks.
yeah.
And Kat's like, surely you can't be worried that she's in any danger from me. And Xaden starts, like covering for her, like, oh, Violet kid. And then Violet's like, Violet can handle herself.
Yeah. Like, fuck off.
And then that's when they like go to like fight in their head. And he goes, I never wanted you to have to, not here. And then he says in their brain, like in their minds, Takaris might want to keep you, but every other flyer in this palace will happily slit your throat, blah, 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 because of your mom's last name, you and Mira, which is true. I mean, they're both Soaring Gales, like they're both avidly known and like they're in enemy territory. So yeah. And because like Xaden is like Brennan's anonymity and not, yeah, he's anonymous, is all that saves him here. You have no idea how much danger you're in, the lengths I've gone to in order to keep you safe. And it's just like she's feeling smothered at this point. Like she's
Yeah.
wanting space. She's already requested that I need a little space. And he is just like giving her paragraph after paragraph. And she screams at him, stop trying to keep me safe. And then that's when everyone's like, what?
yeah.
Damn. Because
Like,
it was like quiet and now it's not. And she looks at him and in front of everyone goes, you never would have pulled this bullshit last year. You never held me back. You never caged me in the name of protecting me. Never the one telling me to find another way in the gauntlet, watching me fight off other cadets at threshing. And he goes, yeah, but I wasn't in love with you then. It doesn't matter. It shouldn't change how you act towards somebody. Yeah, you could protect them a little bit more, but like still treat them to be a better person and to protect them better kind of thing. And he goes, during gauntlet threshing, I had no idea what you would become to me, blah, 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 all of these things. And like, she's like, you're scared, aren't you? And he goes, of losing you? Like, more terrified. And when Sigale told me Taryn was heading this direction, I nearly lost my fucking mind. And so she's like, oh, shit. Oh, look at this communication we're finally fucking having. But of course, we're having
right.
it here. So
Yeah.
then, yep, they are just bickering back and forth, not in front of everybody, but like everyone could just see their brains. Like, can
yeah.
you just imagine like being like that fly on the wall, just like watching these people? Like, I'm
Right.
a
Like,
very, I'm a very,
expressive.
yeah. So like, if I'm sitting here like like arguing, I'd be like,
yeah,
like
me too. Throwing my hands up, my eyebrows are gonna be all crazy.
I know, and everyone's gonna be like, don't
yes.
worry about me. Don't worry. I'm fighting with him. You just don't hear it.
She's crazy. Oh
And
my
then that,
gosh.
yeah, and then that's when she's like, you're being like fucking Dane. Well, not in those words exactly. But I'm like, you know what? That's gonna shut him up for a while. Like that's the space she's needed. She just need to
Yeah.
tell him that we got some Tamlin energy. We got some. What other energy we got? We got some Reese in the last book energy.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
Yep. Well, so then, like, now they're in there and they're getting dressed and getting ready for dinner and they're getting all, like, dolled up. And Kat is just being a fucking bitch. Um,
Oh, what a cunt. True music fan.
yeah, she's like, ugh. She's like, so Violet chooses a black dress and Kat's like, you went
I do want to know what
with
that looks like.
black? Like, I just would have chosen something more colorful. Xaden always laments how monotone everything is at Basgiath. There's still time to change if you'd like. She's like, Xaden doesn't lament anything. And are you capable of having a discussion that doesn't revolve around him? Sure, if it makes you more comfortable, we can discuss how your mother has perpetuated a lie that's cost thousands of Peromish lives, some of which your own sister is responsible for taking. And her Violet's eyebrows fly up, and Mira goes, I was gonna remind you that it's probably bad manners to stab our hostess, but you know what? Fuck it. We don't need a luminary. And I'm just fucking dying. I
That's some
fucking
violence I need
love
in my life.
Mira.
Here's the thing, though, with that, maybe back in my like toxic childhood teenager area, I probably would have brought up the dude. But nowadays, I would be like, well, I don't give a fuck what he thinks.
Right?
I want to wear my black. I'm a fly bitch.
Yeah, I don't dress for a man. Oh my
But
gosh.
also, it suits me, bitch. Like, I like
Yeah.
it.
Fuck
So
off.
if you want to dress for Xaden, then you can dress for Xaden. We'll see who he takes the dress off of first.
Right, okay. And this like continues. Like it keeps going and Violet's like, "Why? Why is she getting to me? So like why is she bringing
Oh,
out
yeah.
this like irrational side of me?" And she's like not understanding. Um and then we find out on page 390, Xaden's like, um, what I should have done the second I saw you this, or what she goes, what did you do? And she goes, what I should have done the second I saw you this afternoon, and probably shocked Kat enough to make her stop fucking with your head. She goes, what do you mean? She has the gift of heightening the emotions of people around her, and she's exceptionally powerful. If you hadn't blocked me out all evening, I would have told you sooner. This is why you should have communicated with her before, and if you had talked to her about all this, she would have come in more prepared and not have been fucking blindsided by this bitch. First of all,
And
I just
also, if her brother, side note too, if her brother would have known what kind of like mood she goes into when like shit fails, maybe her brother should have been, I don't know, appropriate and said, hey, Xaden, this is the way she is. She's
uh-huh.
always been like that. You need to figure it out because
Yeah.
she is not talking to me, but she wanted to go talk to her sister.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe right after that, when she was like, hey, take me to Takaris to get the luminary, then he would have been like, let's have a discussion.
Yeah, let's
Let's
talk
talk
about
about
it.
this.
Instead of just absolutely fucking not.
Maybe, you know.
So
But
then we like yeah. Then they
I
go
do
to
like
like
how
dinner.
on the way to dinner though they're talking about how they have an older brother, so it's literally a mirror. Like Serena, Kat, their older brother is
Oh.
like a mirror of them, and I'm sitting here like, that's weird, but they're talking about how like, oh yeah, you would be a perfect match for like our older brother is like talking about Mira, and I'm sitting here like, maybe. She's like, I
We'll
don't
see.
normally go for Griffin riders, and they're like, well, he doesn't normally go for Dragon riders, and I'm like, maybe now.
Uh-huh.
What about now?
Yeah.
Drake. Drake's his name.
Yes.
But anyways.
Yeah, so then they go to the dinner or whatever, and then they're like, okay, now you're gonna put on a performance. You're gonna go down into this arena, and we're gonna wheel out a target, and you're gonna show us how you wield. Um, and it's like this giant metal chest that I don't know. So they send Violet down anyway, and Xaden tries to go with her, and Takaris is like, no, like, how will I know what she can do without you if you go with her? And Mira's like, I'm going with her. Fuck you. And they get down there,
Ooh, that's a
and
pretty
they.
dress. I was trying to figure out what kind of dress she was wearing. Because
Yeah.
it just talks about like lace and like what it covers, what it doesn't cover. And I'm sitting here like, okay, like what the fuck is that?
um, but then they open this big trunk, and Mira goes, "What the fuck?" Because a prisoner falls out, and he's like, his maroon tunic and trousers are all tattered. Um, but when his head jerks up to look at them, distended red veins branch out from his bloodshot eyes. It is a venom, and Xaden freaks the fuck out. But that's where chapter 41 ends. So he can't do shit about it.
No.
I didn't write a whole lot for chapter 42 because it's like,
Majority of it was just like a fight scene with them.
yeah.
Which, I mean,
So,
not that it was hard to follow, but there was just like one thing was happening over here, one thing was happening over here, one thing was happening behind everybody.
yeah.
So it was hard for me to follow. I got the
Yeah. The
gist of
first
it.
thing I wrote was, damn it, Mira. Because right away, everyone's freaking out. Taryn's like, oh fuck. He says Silverwind, and she says move, screaming at the guards. And she tells Mira to get out of there. And Mira's like, nope, not leaving you with that thing, and flicks her dagger and throws it. And Violet's like, no, but it's too late. And he pulls his dagger
No.
out, and she's like, great. And now he has a knife. Like, just, yeah.
Thanks, Mira.
Yeah. And like it just goes on and on and on and on. But he's like, the Venin's like, oh, it's you. Like, I'm gonna be rewarded when I return with you, like to the sage or whatever. Um, then Xaden throws her daggers. Taryn's on the way. Um, Mira's like, I can't shield this far from the wards, and then I think she does. Um, but basically, wait, what I write on page 400, I wrote Grumpy Grandpa. Oh wait, before that, she is standing on this field, right, and it's all wet, but the marble or whatever that the arena is made out of is white, and it's from an area that the Venin have already drained, so it doesn't conduct power. So she gets Brennan and Mira to go up the arena, and she throws her arms out, and she calls the lightning, and then Taryn picks her up, and the lightning hits the thing, and the Venin is like burned up. And it was like, in my head, it was a really impressive scene, first of all. But on page 400, Grumpy Grandpa, why did I write that? Oh, all the dragons show up, I think, is, yeah. Um, and Taryn goes, I will devour anyone who makes a move against you. My patience has ended. She goes, I'll be sure to warn you or warn them. Um, and Xaden is like about to fucking kill Takaris. He's got like his hands around his throat, ready to fucking murder him. Um, but Violet stops him basically and is like, you built this pit for them, which means you captured more than just that one. And Takaris is like, okay, I'll tell you everything we know, just let me down. Um,
Xaden, will he though? I mean, I think it's very appropriate what you're doing.
yeah, exactly. Um, and then he's like, if you ever want to have words about why I severed that alliance, then you come for me. Violet is beyond your reach. If you so much as look in her direction with anything but the utmost kindness and respect, I'll kill you without a second thought and let Serena take her place as your heir. Do you understand me? Um, and like it's just he's fucking pissed because this all was like a thing because Xaden slighted him by refusing their alliance, which we still don't technically know what that is yet, but I think we can insinuate. um,
We just know that
but
something
then they're
was
like, he's
broken.
yeah, and now he's like, now we negotiate, and they do all of this negotiating. They're gonna give weapons to Takaris, and he's gonna give them the luminary. And then he says, and you take the 100 flyer cadets I've given shelter to after the academy was destroyed back to Arisha with the luminary. And she's like, and Violet in her head is like, I'm sorry, what the fuck? And Zayden's like, what would you like us to do with them? Like, and he's like, you're going to educate them. Um, and who is a flyer cadet? Like Catriona. And Brandon goes, done. As long as each flyer we take brings a crossbolt with them. And Violet's like, I'm gonna throttle my brother because ugh. And I wrote, fuck, I do not want more Cat.
Yeah, I was like, Cat's
I
gonna be a
feel
fucking
like
problem.
yeah, I wrote that later. I'll talk about that later. But yeah, so that's the end of chapter 42.
Drama. It's gonna be so good.
Ah! Yeah. So
But
that is it.
until next time.
Bye.